Hello and welcome to the Eye, your English news bulletin. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. For the first time in 8 weeks, sample positivity rate for COVID-19 in the state has gone below 10%. It has decreased from 23% at the start of the lockdown to 8% as of the past week. The relaxations in COVID restrictions in Delhi further extended till 5 a.m. of 28 June. Restaurants and bars allowed up to 50% of the seating capacity from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. A real estate developer in China has constructed a 10-story earthquake-resistant residential building within 28 hours. Now for the news in details. The state has vaccinated an approximate 32% of eligible beneficiaries by the first dose. 63,586 doses administered the past week, in the highest dose administered in a single week. This was stated by the Health and Family Welfare Department in its weekly bulletin dated June 19. Out of 375 COVID-19 deaths in the state from February 2021, only one had been fully vaccinated and 2 weeks had passed after the second dose. There was another death after 2 doses but happened before 2 weeks of vaccination. 99.7% of deaths after February have not been fully vaccinated. The vaccine also provides very significant protection even by 1 dose after 2 weeks of vaccination, the bulletin stated. Further, it informed that no healthcare workers in COVID-19 hospitals has succumbed to the virus despite being at the highest risk of exposure, as most have been vaccinated. It may be mentioned that in 2020, armed forces and security personnel constituted about 39% of all confirmed cases. They were the first to be vaccinated in huge numbers, and in 2021, only 5% constituted of confirmed cases, an indicator that COVID-19 vaccines not only prevent severe diseases but also reduce transmission, as proven earlier in clinical trials. With more citizens coming forward to receive COVID-19 vaccines in Kohima district's urban areas, the immunization drive has been equally positive even in the rural areas, with villagers turning up to receive the jabs from medical personnel.
A total of 209 beneficiaries have been vaccinated in Pesama village and 75 beneficiaries in Fuchama village in the southern Angami region. Rugusanu Retso, Community Health Officer of Health and Wellness Center, Fuchama, informed Hornbilltv on Sunday. She informed that out of 209 beneficiaries who received the vaccine in Pesama, 200 under the age group of 18 to 44 and 9 were above the age of 45. While out the total 75 beneficiaries who received the jabs in Fuchama, 67 were under the age group of 18 to 44 years, while 8 were above 45 years. Retso informed that if more vials would be available, they would vaccinate more villagers in the coming days. The government updated that a total of 4,02,778 doses have been administered till June 19. Earlier, the high-powered committee emphasized on the need to inoculate more people. However, it was learned from some vaccinators that there is scarcity of vials, due to which only limited vaccines are being administered to people during the sessions being conducted.
A training program on various COVID-19 related management activities for Raziba range, led by administrative officials and medical officers of Futsero, was conducted on the 19th of June in the public hall of Raziba in Pek district. Public leaders, village council members and police personnel from Raziba and surrounding villages attended the event, during which briefings on COVID-19 standard operating procedures, vaccination and training on PPE and management of dead bodies were some of the activities that were engaged, updates from the Department of Information and Public Relations stated. The first earthquake measuring magnitude 3.1 on the Richter scale occurred near Arunachal Pradesh's Pangin at around 1:02 a.m. This was followed shortly by another earthquake measuring magnitude 3.6 on the Richter scale near Shiroi village in Manipur's Ukhrul district. Back-to-back earthquakes were reported from the northeastern part of India on Sunday morning, as the National Centre for Seismology notified of a series of tremors, all ranging from magnitude 3.1 to 3.6 on the Richter scale, hitting two regions in Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh. No casualties or damage of property, however, have yet been reported in the incidents. According to alerts issued by NCS, the first earthquake measuring magnitude 3.1 on the Richter scale occurred near Arunachal Pradesh's Pangin at around 1:02 a.m. This was followed shortly by another earthquake measuring magnitude 3.6 on the Richter scale near Shiroi village in Manipur's Ukhrul district. According to the National Centre for Seismology, the first earthquake hit 95 kilometers northwest of Pangin in Arunachal Pradesh at 1:02 at a depth of 17 kilometers. The second quake hit 20 kilometers northwest of Shiroi in Manipur at 1:22 a.m. at a depth of 30 kilometers. A bit later, around 5:41 a.m., another mild earthquake measuring magnitude 3.1 on the Richter scale was reported 62 kilometers north of Uttarkashi in Uttarakhand at the depth of 15 kilometers, the NCS reported.
Mumbai's Versova police on Saturday registered a second FIR in an alleged scam of vaccination of the employees of a film production house in the city. The fraud was conducted by the same group that duped residents of the Hiranandani Estate Society in Mumbai.
On May 29, 150 employees and family members of Matchbox Pictures were given their first shot of Covishield vaccine. This vaccination drive was also conducted by the same group of people who conducted a fake drive at Kandivali's Hirandani Estate Society. The authorities have registered an FIR and the accused are the same as those arrested by Kandivali police station, said a senior official from the Versova police station. The enforcement will take their custody once their investigation by Kandivali police is over, the senior official said. Kandivali police has still not arrested 4 accused in the Hiranandani case. According to the complaint, the vaccine beneficiaries weren't given any vaccination certificates even after they received the jabs. The accused told them that due to a backlog, their certificates would be issued a week later. The beneficiaries soon got worried because none of them experienced any symptoms following the jab. Senior Inspector of Versova Police Station, Siraj Inamdar, confirmed development.
The Indian government has clarified that there will not be any delay in fixation of minimum wages and national floor wages, as is being alluded in a section of the media. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Labour and Employment, it said that the expert group constituted to recommend fixation of minimum wages and will submit its recommendations to the government as early as possible. The expert panel, which is being led by economist Ajit Mishra, has been given a tenure of 3 years to give its recommendation on wage fixation. A section of the media had reported that owing to the long tenure, fixing of wages may take time. It is clarified that government does not have any intention to delay wage fixation and the expert group will submit its recommendation as early as possible. The tenure of the expert group has been kept as 3 years so that even after the fixation of minimum wages and national floor wages, government may seek technical inputs from it as and when required, the ministry said. It further informed that the first meeting of the group was held on June 14 and second meeting is scheduled for June 29, 2021. The relaxations in COVID restrictions in Delhi further extended till 5 a.m. on 28 June. Restaurants and bars allowed up to 50% of the seating capacity from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. respectively.
The Delhi government has allowed reopening of bars, public parks and gardens from Monday under a phased easing of restrictions, which were imposed due to the second COVID wave. Public parks, gardens and golf clubs will be reopened and outdoor yoga activities will also be allowed, the DDMA stated in its order. Prohibited activities and services including cinemas, gyms, spas, among others will remain closed till 5 a.m. on June 28, it said. All schools, colleges, educational, training, coaching institutions, etc. will remain closed. Online, distance learning shall continue to be permitted and should be encouraged. All social, political, sports, entertainment, academic, cultural, religious, festival-related and other gatherings and congregations. All swimming pools except being used by sportspersons for training purposes. National and international events for the training of sportsperson for participation in stadia sports complexes except being used for training of sportspersons for participation in national international sports events as well as for organizing national or international sports events, cinemas, theatres and multiplexes.
Former AIA-DMK Minister M. Manikandan has been arrested in Bengaluru by Chennai City Police after a Malaysian woman levelled rape charges against him.
The complaint was lodged 2 weeks ago at the women's police station at Adyar, in which the woman stated she is an actor by profession and had been in a relationship with Manikandan for years. During the relationship, Manikandan had allegedly impregnated her multiple times and then forced her to abort while also threatening her. The victim has claimed that he had lured her into the relationship with the promise of marriage. Manikandan has been booked under various sections of the Indian Penal Code, including charges of rape, causing miscarriage and cheating. The former Tamil Nadu IT minister then approached the Madras High Court seeking anticipatory bail. He has claimed that there is no truth to the accusations levelled against him and that the complaint and documents produced by the victim were concocted.
In an astonishing feat that has taken social media by storm, a real estate developer in China has constructed a 10-story earthquake-resistant residential building within 28 hours. Broad Group, the developer of the building, shared a video of the construction in China's Changsha city, which has gone viral. The real estate company used prefabricated construction systems to deliver the project. The rooms and other building modules were already prepared in a factory, and later each part was transported to the site on trucks. Each building module has the same dimensions as a shipping container when folded, making it very easy to transport. At the construction site, the units were stacked on top of each other and bolted in place into a fully formed tower. All that was required after the installation was to just tighten bolts and connect water and electricity. Broad Group has said the building is earthquake resistant and can also be disassembled and moved to another location. The firm also claims that the system could be used to build high-rises as tall as 200 stories. In some good news, cases continue to decrease for the fourth consecutive week and deaths for the third week, with marked decline especially in Kohima and Dimapur. For the first time in 8 weeks, sample positivity rate for COVID-19 in the state has gone below 10%, the government's weekly bulletin stated on June 19. It has decreased from 23% at the start of the lockdown to 8% as of the past week, while Kohima, Kifre and Mohokchung have a weekly positivity rate of 10% or more, it stated. The bulletin also informed that there has been a 38% decline in cases from last week. Only Perin has shown an increase in the last week. However, the health also reminded that COVID-19 will come in waves as and when there is lack of human behavior. Utmost care has to be taken until at least 90% of eligible beneficiaries receive the vaccine, considering the fact that children cannot be vaccinated as of now. The Kohima District Task Force on COVID-19 conducted a virtual meeting on June 19 to review the COVID-19 status and situation in the district. The meeting was presided over by Deputy Commissioner and Chairman of the DTF. Updates from the government stated. The DTF felt that the improvement in the present situation in the area of testing, positivity rate, hospitalization and vaccination in the district was in view of various lockdown measures implemented so far according to updates from the Department of Information and Public Relations. The DTF has decided to strictly enforce and monitor the implementation of the lockdown measures put in place by the government during this present lockdown, it stated. On the vaccination drive, which has been scaled up with additional outreach sessions by the medical team targeting all eligible beneficiaries to get the vaccine, the DTF has informed that all required measures have been undertaken to achieve the target of vaccinating eligible beneficiaries in the urban and rural areas of the district. The meeting also deliberated on the issue of opening more shops, but put forth by the KCCI. The DTF observed that with more relaxations, the increase in movement and mobility is a concern. Therefore, it was decided that the matter would be put forward to the higher authorities if situation comes to a certain comfortable extent, the IPR stated. The DTF also reiterated that the timing of total ban from 4 p.m. to 5 a.m. with effect the 19th to the 30th of June 2021 in the district will be applicable to all public movement, while only certain exempted activities will be allowed under the purview, the update stated.
A driver in a pickup truck plowed into cyclists during a community road race in Arizona on Saturday, critically injuring several riders before police chased the driver and shot him outside a nearby hardware store.
6 people were taken to a hospital in critical condition after the incident in the mountain town of Show Low after a 3-hour drive northeast of Phoenix, police said. Helmets, shoes and crumbled and broken bicycles were strewn across the streets after the crash, and a tire was wedged into the grille of the truck, which had damage to its top and sides and a bullet hole in a window. Other people went to a hospital themselves, city spokeswoman Grace Payne said. One of the people severely injured in the incident was later flown by medical helicopter to a hospital in the Phoenix area. The suspect, a 35-year-old man, also was admitted to hospital in a critical but stable condition. We don't know the motivation. We know he fled the scene, Ms. Payne told AP. Police said a Ford pickup truck struck the cyclist about 7:25 a.m. in central Show Low during the annual 93-kilometer Bike the Bluff race. The driver then fled the scene. Officers pursued the driver and tried to stop him before he was shot, authorities said. Ms. Payne said the driver did not comply when officers tried to arrest him, but the circumstances of the shooting were not immediately released. Neither were the identities of the suspect or the people injured. Officials said 270 people were participating in the race.
That's all for tonight's English News Bulletin. Do subscribe to our channel and also follow Hornbill TV Official on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. I'm Esther. Have a good evening.